Hello everyone. I belong to English department and I'm going to brief you about the Sainik School Coaching Academy. So specifically about English, first I'll deal with the topics, what we are going to train the students about. I'm going to give you a brief introduction about the each content. To begin with, we have comprehension passage. Now, comprehension passage is for 5 marks. And before I just go specifically about this, I would like to tell you the total marks allotted for the test is 50, and there are going to be 25 questions, and each question carries 2 marks. So 20 would be grammar, and 5 marks would be comprehension passage. The first one is comprehension passage. So here you will get any general topic, what the child is aware or to the standard of the child. So the child has to go through the paragraph and then answer the questions. It could be fill up the blank or it can be even MCQ, multiple choice questions. Then next is preposition. Preposition, as we know, for example, I would like to give an example here. The cat is on the table or the cat is under the table. Okay, so they know prepositions in, on, across, among, and all. So in detail, we are going to teach them when and where we have to use the preposition. The third one is article. As you know, the article is divided broadly into definite and indefinite article, and definite one is the, and indefinite is a and an. So in detail we'll tell the ground rules when to use a and the child will be able to use these articles confidently. Then vocabulary is the child will, when the child comes to grade 6, they have quite a good number of vocabulary, the words, so both active and passive. So we are going to test them. So it can be direct test or indirect test. Then about the verbs, different kinds of verbs, and transitive, intransitive, and through sentence and through multiple choice question, we are going to uh, teach them and even question them about the verbs and its type. Then confusing words. There are so many words. There could be homonyms, homophones. It could be quite confusing to the the child of grade 6. So we explain to them clearly when and where to use those words. For example, like we have receive, RECEIVE, and achieve, ACHIEVE. Okay, so I'll just tell you. Now, this is receive. Now, it's the difference placing of E and I. Now, for example, in case of achieve, this ACHIE, it is just the exchange of IE and EI. So we give a clarity to the student when to use EI or IE. All these minute differences we explain to the child so that the child is able to use the word confidently. Then about the question tags. What the question tags? See, question tags, we have to tell them they have to remember the 5 points. That is, they have to know the linking verb, they have to know the subject, question mark, of course, is a must, and whether the sentence is negative or positive. So, everything we are going to explain it to them. And most of the time, we say, you understood this lesson, isn't it? Okay, so understood, it should be did you? Clear? So many, even the adults get confused with the use of auxiliary verbs. So this point, the use of linking verbs will be made clear to the students. Types of sentences like declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, we have exclamatory sentence. All this will be explained to them. Then the tense form, everyone knows past, present, and future, simple, perfect, continuous forms, and all. And then kinds of nouns, the 5 different kinds, okay, material, abstract, all these nouns, collective, proper noun, everything will be explained to them. And similarly, kinds of pronouns. reflexive, demonstrative. So all these things will be explained to them, and so that they have clarity on the kinds of pronouns. And same way, spelling. Spelling forms the important part because most of the time they speak. So in spoken English, one may not find out the mistake. But while writing, that degrades a person's performance. So we are very particular and we instill that the child is thorough with the spelling and ordering of words. Okay, so you know about the jumbled sentences that they would have done it even in the primary, in the lower classes. It is a kind of a fun activity, especially when it comes to the different languages. Then sentence formation. We tell them, we clearly we teach them the order of a sentence, where the verb should be placed regarding the subject. All this clarity we give. Then antonyms. Antonyms, or simply we call it as opposites. So children should know it because they cannot be using the same words. They need to use common words that will also elevate their position. Similarly, synonyms. Synonyms are same meanings. Then adjectives, adjectives and its kinds. Then interjection. It all the statements or emotion, shock, surprise, fear, anger. So everything can be expressed through interjection. Idioms and phrases. Idioms and phrases will enrich the quality of the spoken and the written language. So we teach them. It should be like piece of cake, okay, like some easy task for them. So we drill them in idioms and phrases so that it becomes part and parcel of their life. Then of course the number we have, in case of like adjective and all, we have it. Quantity, then gender, obviously we have masculine, feminine and neuter gender. So though I'm just putting it in a nutshell, in just a matter of maybe 5 minutes, I have summed up the whole thing, whatever we are going to teach. And moreover, this is the right time that the child learns it. And the child, there is going to be quantum of difference between the child coming to our coaching academy and the child studying in other school. I'm not degrading, but we give it our best. Okay, so as English faculty, you need not worry about the child. We are going to deal. The entry and exit behavior of a child is going to be remarkable, and you will be glad for having stepped into Kranthi institution. Thank you.